Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. Senator, thank you for joining us. What was it like in that room today?
It was chilling to watch that video and to be in the very room where this had happened. I say everyone was watching the video, and what we saw for the first time was just the timeline, the fact that in just a visceral way that the president, the things he had been saying at the rally, which of course we were not watching because we were doing our jobs in the Senate, to basically directing this angry mob to go down the mall. And then the timelines for when he did his first video hours later. And then that tweet, which I had actually never put together the timeline there, that was literally after the officers had been hurt, over 100 of them, that we now know that we had an officer that died because of the injuries sustained, that a woman had been shot, someone else had been trampled. What does he do? He sent out, after being glued to the TV, a tweet that says, these are the things and events that happen when a landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots. He is calling them great patriots, Chris, who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Then he tells them to go home, but then he ends with, remember this day forever. So to me, that's all you need to know about Donald Trump and his role in inciting this riot.
Yeah, I agree that the sort of syncing up the timelines of the president's words and actions, the fact that it was 2 hours after the Capitol breach, that he puts a video in which he says to the people, we love you. He also says, go home in peace, as in there will be no repercussion. Like, we're going to, okay, enough of this. You guys can go home. Not, we will bring these people to justice. None of that. The other thing, I wonder if you noted this or if you felt it in the room watching that video, the fact that so many of the people that assaulted the Capitol were literally carrying Trump flags, were literally engaging it under his banner in a medieval sense. And whether you had seen that before, whether that hit you sitting in that room.
It did, because remember, he spent his 4 years going after the other branches of government, an assault on the courts with his words, an assault on Congress. And this time he actually sent them down there, and they were actually using these banners and poles with his name on it to literally ram in the door, which, as Jamie Raskin memorably described, that was a sound he will never forget as they tried to ram in the door. And he talked about the fact that, and I remember this video that I'll never forget, is one of them using an American flag attached to a pole to beat an officer when the officer was simply trying to defend our country and defend that flag. Those are visceral moments. And so when you ask how the senators reacted, I don't want to hear about how they didn't like the defense lawyers. Yeah, they weren't good. Okay, fine. That's not the point. You can't make a defense to the indefensible. And so what I hope my colleagues listen to as we move forward in this trial are the facts. And the facts are on full, ugly, horrific display in that video you just showed.
Yeah, there was a moment I want to play for you when Mr. Schoen, who's one of the lawyers for the ex-president, the defeated and impeached president, that basically that they have tried to take this view, and they said it in their brief and said it here, that it is somehow outrageous or incitement itself to just say what happened on that day. Here's what Schoen said about the presentation by the House impeachment managers. Take a listen.
We now learn that the House managers, in their wisdom, have hired a movie company and a large law firm to create, manufacture, and splice for you a package designed by experts to chill and horrify you and our fellow Americans. They want to put you through a 16-hour presentation over 2 days, focusing on this as if it were some sort of blood sport.
What do you think of that?
The House managers have a job, and they're putting on a case. And this isn't one of those cases that involves a lot of behind closed door investigation of what happened when people weren't at meetings. It may eventually, with whoever was involved in funding this and other things. But right now, this is about simply, did the president incite this riot? And all you need to look at are his words, what he said leading up to it. It wasn't just one momentary utterance. It was all of his bashing the election, bashing our democracy, calling his people to arms, calling his people to go down that mall. And then you have to look at what they did. And when you see that officer screaming, who's just simply trying to protect the Capitol, when you hear their words, when they are saying unbelievable things about our police officers, about our representatives, going after personally the vice president, something that the president kept doing, including on the day of January 6th, simply because the former vice president was doing his job, which was to preside over the Electoral College. Those things, those are the facts, those are the words. And I don't think any faux argument that somehow the Constitution doesn't allow for this is going to work. That's why Senator Cassidy changed his vote. That's why you saw conservative lawyers, including one man, Mr. Cooper, that had been named Republican Lawyer of the Year, coming out clearly and saying, you know what, they don't really have a case here. The precedent of the Senate, as well as the language of the Constitution, makes it very clear this case should go forward.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.